I promise to dig, always go hard and spin. I'm out to the flea market, thrift store and back again. Pouring records to sample, chop, loop and flip. I promise to dig, always go hard and spin. I'm out to the flea market, thrift store and back again. Pouring records to sample, chop, loop and flip.
I was just... Why are you up?
I had a nightmare. Someone was trying to take you away from me.
I'm not going anywhere, July.
Huh? Yeah. What's that?
I promise to dig, always go hard and spin. I'm out to the flea market, thrift store and back again. Pouring records to sample, chop, loop and flip. I promise to dig, always go hard and spin. I'm out to the flea market, thrift store and back again. Pouring records to sample, chop, loop and flip.
Oh, what's going on, my diggers? Didn't see you there. Deep Crates up in the lab freezing. Season Crate episode 2 coming at you kind of on a somber note. Earlier this week we lost a Bowie, not Lester Bowie, I found that this week, but David Bowie. Rest in peace to the Goblin King, aka Ziggy Stardust, aka Philip Jeffries. Yeah, there's a little Bowie sample. If you don't know David Bowie, definitely check him out. His early stuff started off with like Space Odyssey and Hunky Dory. It was more like rock and folk pop kind of stuff. Then he had The Man Who Sold the World, which is a dope album, a little heavier. And then he just busted on the scene with this alter ego, Ziggy Stardust. And he was chilling with Spiders from Mars, you know what I'm saying? Ziggy Stardust. Shout out to anybody out there with an alter ego, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gotta reinvent yourself, and you're so complex in your personalities that you've gotta distinguish between real life and, you know what I'm saying, what goes on in your head. So shout out to Ziggy Stardust and the Thin White Duke. After Ziggy Stardust spiraled out of control from Mars, he kind of reinvented himself as the Thin White Duke, did more like funk and soul stuff. And then he got into the whole electronic kind of krautrock thing with Low and the whole Berlin era. He got more electronic and new wave and pop, and he always just reinvented himself, you know what I'm saying? And just like, you know, that's what you gotta do sometimes. You might feel some ways and then feel other ways, you know what I'm saying? That's what makes my musical collection so diverse. Like, I'll go without listening to hip-hop for weeks. I'll be in a big metal phase, or I'll be in a big, you know, whatever, and then I'll come back to it, or just how you feel at the time, and, you know, what's going on in your head and your life and shit. So shout outs to David Bowie, rest in peace, you know what I'm saying? The Goblin King, he was in the classic Labyrinth. Shout out to Labyrinth and costumes. With the invention of computers, you don't see good stunts and costumes and scenery hardly anymore. Labyrinth was pretty crazy, elaborate, dark, mysterious. A lot of people didn't understand it. It's our VHS of the week. David Bowie also had a couple other appearances. He was in the film Absolute Beginners, a soundtrack which I'm sure you've seen digging. Not the best, but, you know, some interesting stuff on there. He was also Agent Philip Jeffries in Fire Walk With Me. Shout out to Twin Peaks, our series show of the week. Check out Labyrinth, Twin Peaks and David Bowie. If you haven't, that's our tips of the week for you to get into. I'd also like to say rest in peace to another great we lost, Lemmy from Motorhead. Rest in peace, him and David Bowie, two of the greatest to ever grace us with their musical talents. I believe Bowie's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I know he's got like the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. I'm sure Lemmy should be, or if he's not already, in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Lost two legends. So let's not dwell on a sad note. I got these records to get into. There's some interesting looking ones. Sea Wind. I'm not sure what that's about. It's on the CTI label. Man. Looks like Mad Magazine, but it's not. I got another Man too. I don't know too much about them, so we'll spin these. I don't know what this is. Stomu Yamashita. Steve Winwood's on it too. But we'll get into these. Check these out, see what's on them. In the meantime, let's check out our action figure of the week. Alright, come on. The new set's almost done, by the way. We're still in the lab here, and we'll continue to be in the lab, but I got a new set coming soon. So, shout out to that. Hopefully it gets done soon. Let's go check out that action figure, man. So last week we had the ill Texas Chainsaw Massacre action figure based on the Nintendo game. This week it's Friday the 13th. Jason Voorhees. And the ill thing about this, check this out. When you open it up, it plays the music. So, as a young man, there was this VCR tape that I would use to explore and discover about myself, as many young men do. You usually hide it under your bed with some magazines and stuff. Anyway, this song would play, but just like an instrumental, during this huge menage a trois scene, which blew my mind as, you know, probably like 9 or 10-year-old at the time. So I always associated this song with that. It wasn't until later digging that I picked up a 45 named Fame that I realized that was David Bowie's song in that adult movie way back in the day. It's my personal connection with David Bowie, so to speak. Watch out for that stardust. Don't let it get on ya.